Hey there guys, BlackPanthaa here and welcome back to the crew once again. And today what I want to do is go over drifting with you in the crew. Now at first sight I kind of thought, you know, it's not going to be very easy to drift. From trying to get cars to slide sometimes, you can get them to slide slightly but you couldn't really maintain a drift. But then I found some settings and different setups that you could use to get these cars to drift quite well actually, and I've got some footage of that in a second. So drifting to me is important. Why? I mean, it's a cool way to show off I guess, but at the same time it actually helps me learn more about the car. Say in Gran Turismo, I actually learnt more about the weight of my car, how my car reacts to kind of slight inputs and that sort of stuff. I kind of get to know my car more, and if I can have the same car that does multiple things, I just feel as if that car is worth a bit more to me. And I like drifting, it's fun, that's basically why I do it. So let me explain to you how to drift inside the crew. I've got some footage to show you, and here is the process of me figuring out how it was done. Now I found a road that looks like it was well driftable, so what did I try and do? Drift down it. Throw it down there, tapping the e-brake, tapping the normal brake, trying my best to get this thing to keep sliding, but what it kept doing is really just pulling forward. So one thing I noticed straight away is that I was on sports mode. That's the mode I prefer to use to race on, to just explore on. So the first thing I did change is that I switched it up to hardcore and gave it another run to see what the results were. So I threw on the hardcore setting and it would basically slide a little more, but still not enough to really call it proper drifting. It would slide and pull forward as it did before, but still allow a bit more of a slide, bit more, well, bit less control of the car really. That's all it did, and I thought to myself then, what can I do next? What's the next step of trying to get this thing to drift? Then I remembered during a stream that they said street class cars have more grip than dirt class cars, and the dirt class cars were actually quite good at drifting, so I gave that a go. This was the result. So here we are with the Skyline, once again switching into the dirt spec car, and then basically what I have on here is automatic still and hardcore still, keep that in mind. So it kind of makes sense why dirt class cars may be better drifters than street cars, because street cars are for racing and dirt class cars are made for throwing around, seeing how they go, and you can kind of see it emulates the same idea on the road. A dirt class car will slide very, very well in this game, and I can see this is the car that's so far going to be used for drifting out of the two classes straight away. Maybe raid spec cars will actually be even better at drifting, we never know. But, well, we will know until in November, but at the moment we won't know for quite some time. But dirt class cars were obviously the way to go with drifting, and I was on automatic here, so I could have even extended the drifts a lot better, got the revs to go a lot better, made it stop changing gear mid-drift and making me kind of go all over the place. But as you can tell here, the dirt class cars are the ones to drift with. So on this next run I decided to switch to manual, and as you can tell actually, before I go any further, I have changed the steering linearity. I kind of found it drifted a little bit better moving it all the way to the right, but I haven't had a full lot of time to really play with all of that to see if that is actually true. But the basic idea here is you need to be changing gears, drop down a gear and accelerate, keep the revs going, and you will drift better than you did in automatic. So I'm glad that it's possible to drift in automatic because it kind of lets you learn in stages. So you basically go to a dirt class car, you go into hardcore, you learn with automatic, and then you switch to manual. I think that's the method that people are actually going to use. Now, one thing I noticed when actually using the manual is the right stick is used to actually change up and down gear. So that kind of makes you sometimes hit the camera to go to the left, and it kind of makes the camera stick to the back of the car sometimes, so it looks a bit odd, but at the same time sometimes it actually looks pretty cool. You actually see the car slide a bit more. So what I've noticed actually is both the rear views are the best for drifting, keeping it going. The further one on from this, the higher one, actually seems to be a lot easier for seeing where you're going, that sort of thing, because you can see more of the road and you see more of where the car is heading towards, that sort of thing. But that is basically that. So what I've learned in the beta is that to get cars to drift very well, you need to be on dirt spec, you need to have it on obviously hardcore, and you obviously need to be on manual. Now, is it easy to drift? Is it difficult to drift? I would say it's somewhere in the middle. It's not difficult. I mean, I would say it's more difficult than all-wheel drive drifting in Forza from what I've done so far to kind of maintain a drift, which is awesome because in Forza all-wheel drive drifting, it's not easy, but I mean, having something like this, which is more difficult, it makes it more exclusive, makes it more cool looking, makes it more fun in a way, because once again, you're learning more about the car. So I tried it also in my Camaro, and that thing actually seems to slide a lot differently, which is another great thing. I kind of expected most cars to feel similar in some way when drifting, but I was actually wrong. Because I don't know why I thought that though, because the cars handle ridiculously differently while driving them normally. It's like this handling model is ridiculously good. I can't explain how good it is. Because usually when you go into arcade races like this, you don't expect the handling to be that different between cars. You don't expect the handling to be completely different when drifting. You expect them all to feel very similar in a way, but, well, I was completely wrong with it. So I can see drifting being a big thing in, obviously, this game. And I'm happy with that, because I love drifting in Forza 5, and I love racing in Forza 5. I can just see, like, in my mind, just going through a mountain sometime with me and my friend exploring, and just seeing these guys drifting down a mountain, having drift meetups, and then you can expect as well drag race meetups on the salt flats, drag races on kind of in the city streets, and obviously normal street races just ripping around the city, and it just feels like a living world, and it is racing heaven for everybody. So I'm very happy with the handling model in this game, and I'm very happy to say that drifting is very possible in this game. I didn't get a lot of time to play around with it because I only really decided to sit down and have a go with it later on in the beta, but hopefully these findings are useful to you. They're very useful to me, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to go straight back to flinging my cars around corners as soon as the beta the next beta goes live, as it was teased on the at the end of the beta, or obviously when the full game is out in November. Fingers crossed, the time just flies by. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. This video helped you. Make sure to give it a like, and expect a lot more on drifting in the crew from me once the game is released. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Peace.
You